Now today I want to share about heaviness, weariness, despair, or any of those things within that umbrella. Now on this channel I share with you faith-rooted ideas, wisdom, principles and information that will help you through the labyrinth of life. I also aim to bring as much clarity as possible on complicated issues that affects us as Christians in our everyday lives. Now today I want to share with you an antidote that has worked for me over and over again, that helps you through your journey of life, especially when you're in moments of despair, when you're weary, or when you just have a heavy heart, or any of those things under that umbrella. Now this is something that is common to all men. At some point we all get weary, at some point we all get into depression, or we're just tired, or just the burden of life and issues around us just begin to overwhelm us. Sometimes we even feel lethargic, or we even feel as though we don't have any value or contribution to the world. And sometimes people think of outrageous things or other stuff that just really weighs you down. Now this might be for a variety of reasons. It might be because you're in debt, it might be because you've lost money through business, it might be because you've just heard bad news or some things that are happening in your life. It might be health situations or anything that perhaps has led to you being in that situation. I've been around those streets myself many times, and every now and then we still drive by and pass by those streets, and so I'm fully aware of how people feel in such situations because I've been there several times myself. Now the actual time frame between the ingestion of that antidote to it actually working might differ or might vary. However, it works 100% of the time. Now what I'm sharing with you is not necessarily groundbreaking, but I'm sure it will help you. However, some of you might already even know about this antidote. Now this antidote, you can find it in Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 3. It says, "To all who mourn in Israel, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning." And it says, "festive praise instead of despair." Another version says, "the garment of praise instead of the spirit of despair." Another version says, "the mantle of praise instead of the spirit of fainting." And then another version says, "the garment of praise instead of the spirit of heaviness." Now that right there, that is the solution. That is the paracetamol to your headache. That is the Bonjela to your toothache. The spirit of praise will always eliminate the spirit of heaviness. The spirit of praise will always eliminate the spirit of despair. And that right there is your solution. It's worked several times and it's still working till today. Now the moment you feel any form of despair, heaviness, so you feel lethargic, tired, weary, all of those things, what you need to do, the same way you go into your drawers and you get your paracetamol, you get whatever medication it is you know will help you solve that problem. In the same way, look for an environment or anywhere you could find some space where you could actually activate the spirit of praise. And it is not difficult. How do you activate the spirit of praise? By actually praising God. Because when you do that, you activate the spirit of praise. And I'm telling you 100% of the time scales might vary, but eventually you would see that a response comes to that problem sooner than later. Sometimes it's not even so much that the problem itself is solved. It is so much that you get to a level of peace, and that heaviness and that weariness over you just dries up and it just goes away, just like some water has just taken it away or something. And sometimes what I do is, if you get YouTube, and thank God for YouTube these days and other channels that we could use, you could go on there and you could play some music, from anointed ministers of God and minstresses, and you could actually listen to those songs and give praise to God. Now when you do that, do it from the sincerity of your heart. Don't do it because you're trying to script it. Do it because genuinely you understand what you're doing, and just put yourself into it or immerse yourself into it. One thing you will find certainly is that over time, as you continue to do that, you begin to feel not just better, but in many cases the situation over time, when you look back, you realize that either it was solved or somehow you had the mental capability to go through it without being scarred. Now several times if you came to my own house, you would find that we would play some YouTube sort of praise songs, and we will, as a family, will dance around and give God praise. And sometimes we're in a fix, we're in a situation that we don't know what to do, and we're in that depressed situation, or that despair situation, or that spirit of heaviness situation, and that is what we do. And like I said several times and all the time, for us it has actually worked. It has changed a lot of things. It has changed our perception of a lot of things, and overall we have seen the value in doing it. Now, some people will give genuine reasons, and they'll say, well, but I've just lost somebody, I've just been bereaved, or something has happened, I've probably just broken up from a relationship that I've invested the last few years of my life. And those are genuine reasons. But one thing I'll tell you for sure is, if you notice in the scripture in Isaiah 61, it says the spirit of despair, or the spirit of heaviness. It's a spirit. A spirit is a person. So that spirit of despair wants to be around you and wants to justify why it should be around you. Now, it's not a good spirit. It's not something that you want around you. Imagine somebody who you don't want around you for various reasons, but the person finds a way or finds a reason and tries to justify why they should be there always around you, because maybe the person is a negative person, or brings negative energy, or whatever it is. So the spirit of despair wants to hang around you, because obviously it wants to press you down, it wants to make you weary, it wants to make you tired, and it wants to look for reasons why it should be there. And a good reason will be, well, yeah, there's a bereavement, so I'm supposed to hang around you. And it's your responsibility to say, no, I don't want you around me, irrespective of what has happened. I acknowledge I'm in a situation where I've just broken up from a relationship, or whatever it is, I've lost money in a business, or whatever it is, but I don't want the spirit of despair around me. And the way to get that away from you is by wearing the garment of praise, which I have described how you can do that. Imagine the garment of praise being like a repeller, like a mosquito repeller. A mosquito always wants to perch, wants to suck someone's blood, or whatever it is, and then get you sick, or whatever it wants to do. But then when you wear a repeller, when you put some sort of cream on your body, then it struggles to do that. It can't do that. It is a parasite. So is the spirit of despair. It is a parasite. It will suck out of you and it wouldn't add value to you. So you don't want to have that sort of spirit hanging around you. You want to have the spirit of joy, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of your garment of praise, which will actually help you get rid of it. And that is the antidote for that sort of situation. I hope you have gotten value from this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, as that will ensure that you keep tabs with the videos we release on this channel. But in the meantime, enjoy yourself. I'll see you soon. Take care.